there was one of those things where they were so on fire in the circle that you just sat back and took notes and just appreciated it. And that was my first take reveal. And I thought he was nasty, like super hard at the time.
And how do you survive that era when it was really prominent to be like, oh, you a b-boy or you ain't a b-boy because of A, B, and C? How did you make it through that? Because you talked about backhand compliments. So was it just like, I'm still gonna respect it because you are who you are and you're part of, you know, this legendary crew, or what? Like, what was the deal with that?
I think early on, I didn't know that I was doing it quote unquote incorrectly until '97. The first time I went to New York is when people were clowning me, telling me I wasn't a real b-boy, telling me I wasn't breaking, telling me I was whack, I was a clown. So I didn't hear that prior to that because there was nobody around us to tell us we're doing it right or wrong. We're just moving and getting whatever information we could at the time. So one of the biggest things I think, looking back, that helped me thrive through that era was the unacceptance of some of these people. Because, you know, hip hop being a rebellious movement as it is, I was like, oh, you don't think? Oh, watch this. Oh, I'm going to show you.
Right.
And I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to do it so hard that it's going to be undeniable. Now, most of the same people that clowned me at that time, years later, were like, yo, my bad. Or someone would be like, yo, I can't be mad at you. You stayed with it. And look at you now. You've gained the respect, you know, of a lot of global recognized cats. And then getting into style elements was just like a whole slap in everyone's face that ever doubted me, because everyone at that time was trying to get into style elements. And no one got down until I got down.
And how did that go?
So part of it for me was just really showing cats. I'll go back to that in a second. So part of that was just really trying to show what I was doing and how effective I thought it was. And the creativity aspect of it just kept me hungry. Like being able to create stories and tell stories and move differently and stand out. Like, yo, that was inspiring to keep doing it. Like I do stuff now that, you know, people are like, oh, that's pretty fresh, but it, you know, looks like somebody. And I'm like, there's people that have told me things that just don't know. I'm like, bro, I got footage of me doing this in '96. They're like, wait, what? I was like, yeah. So as far as style elements goes, we met them early on. My crew met them early on, and we would go up to Northern Cali and practice, and they would come to Southern Cali and practice. At the time, I was getting into a lot of trouble, so even though I was still a dedicated dancer and trying to run my crew, I still had, you know, the tagging history on me, so I wasn't always around. But 96, I actually started building heavy with Crumbs, and then started going on my own up north, and then with some of my crewmates at the time up north. And that relationship just started to really, you know, come into fruition. And Poe moved to LA later that year. So Poe moving to LA, he came to practice with all of us, had a huge influence on that. And I just started building that relationship. Once my crew broke up, like in my head, I was like, yo, I never want to be in another crew again unless it's style elements. So between 96 and 2000, I just build with them. I traveled, I danced with them, traveled to practice with them and vice versa. And eventually got the blessings from everybody in the crew to get down. Well, the only person that didn't want me down at the time was Crumbs. Everybody else said yes except Crumbs.
What was his reason?
And then he didn't have one. He was just like, nah, not yet. It wasn't like not never. It was just like not yet.
Oh, he wanted you to pay a little bit more dues?
Probably, and then it made sense.
No
But
doubt.
everybody else from that generation, I talked to Tommy, I talked to Poe, Remind, Super Dave, Boogie T, Quality. I had everybody's blessing except Crumbs. So they went with majority rules, and then Remind put me down in at an event called Concrete Soul in Vegas in 2000 that Quality threw. But he wanted to keep it under wraps. He was like, you're down, but we're not going to announce it yet. And then at Battle Lines and Albuquerque, New Mexico, that same year, later that year, Battle Lines Part 2, actually, he announced it on the mic.
Dope. So it was like a public announcement, public service announcement.
Yeah, no social media announcement. It was just on the mic at a jam.
Wow. Yeah, for a second when you said you was in trouble, I was like, was he out here deboing people? Because I don't know if anybody doesn't know who Stuntman is. He is a pretty tall, looks like a like a linebacker. So I thought maybe you was putting hands and feet on people for a second, or you might be a slim defensive end. You know, no doubt.
I'm not a tough guy by no means, but I have been known to not back down.
No doubt. Word, man. And so you come in, you missed that first Renegades Style Elements battle, right? But you're down for the second one, correct?
As a member, I missed it, but I was there. I was sitting down watching.
Right. And what about the rematch?
I threw around there, but I remember not feeling the music, and I had just won the Top Rock contest, so I was kind of like, yo, I'm good. I'm in this euphoria of highness. I just beat a bunch of dope cats. I just won the Top Rock City, but I got to do this exhibition now. So I think I threw one round. It was kind of weak, but whatever. And that was it. But I was still high for my win.
No. What are some of your memorable battles with Down with Style Elements?
With Style Elements, I mean, we've had more Cyphers that were super memorable and just took over some dope shit. But as far as like battles, I mean, we've done stage shows that were more memorable than battles as a crew. But we were all part of a couple of U.S. All-Star teams when I first started going overseas. So those are super memorable. But Style Elements-wise, for me, just being a fan of them and being able to be down with them, and now calling them my friends and my brothers, and them seeing whatever they saw in me at the time was just like, that was the most memorable to me. But we did have a theater show that we toured with, and those were crazy times. Those are, yeah.
Epic.
Those are dope. Those are doper than any competition I could talk about. I mean, earlier we're talking about people that hated the way I danced, and then later super appreciated it. So early on, for me being whatever you want to call me, whether it's a purist or just a hardcore hip hop head, I was like, no.
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Let us know how we're doing down in the comment section, and to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace. Until the next episode.